Hey, adrenaline junkies. Welcome to Mind Rush. Get ready to dive into heart-pounding chases, jaw-dropping action, and the most thrilling moments caught on camera. Let's get your heart racing.
Stop this.
July 8th, 2025, Lee County, Florida, around 1:28 p.m. A Florida trooper spotted a silver Chevy Silverado flying northbound on I-75 at nearly 100 miles per hour, weaving through traffic like it was auditioning for Demolition Derby. When the lights came on, the driver, Kevin Reardon II, faked like he was pulling over, then floored it. Because why face a ticket when you can face a felony? The Silverado tore up I-75 at 107 miles per hour, swerving, slamming brakes, and even ramming a trooper's patrol car not once, but twice, all while riding on just 3 good tires. For a pickup losing parts by the mile, Reardon was determined to keep the joyride alive. Backup units joined in as he barreled off the interstate, blew a stop sign, and tried to escape down a side road.
Let me see your hand!
A pit maneuver finally shoved the Silverado into the grass, and when it died, so did Reardon's luck. He tried to hop seats and bail, but troopers yanked him out and cuffed him on the spot. Inside his truck, they found a party pack of liquor bottles, weed, paraphernalia, and prescription meds. At the hospital, Reardon's blood alcohol level came back at .152, and doctors also discovered he had hidden a bottle of pills, somewhere only the most desperate smugglers would consider. Hours later, the evidence came out, literally. Reardon faces a laundry list of charges, including felony, fleeing and aggravated assault on law enforcement, driving under the influence, possession of marijuana and paraphernalia, reckless driving, speeding and running stop signs, tampering with evidence. From slamming patrol cars at 100 miles per hour to smuggling pills where no pills should ever be, Kevin Reardon's joyride was reckless, dangerous, and unforgettable. The only thing faster than his Silverado that day was his one-way trip to county jail. August 18, 2025, around 1 a.m., an Oklahoma City officer tried to stop a driver near North Highland Drive and Northeast 16th Street for something simple, failing to use a turn signal. But instead of ending with a ticket, 62-year-old Donald Ray decided to turn the quiet streets into his personal joyride track, flooring it like it was opening night at Fast and Furious Senior Edition.
Charge 72, near along 1 Street.
TBI. Okay, he's taking back off. Trying TBI, we're westbound on 23rd Street. He's driving down the side of the road now. We're gonna go back into the neighborhood. Southbound, North Carolina. Picking up speed, still in traffic. Westbound.
Charger.
Charger right now, westbound, coming up the Highland. He's going to go 3 yield signs, no traffic. Breaking Armada.
That is number 30 unit. Air 1.
Ray blasted through a stop sign, hit 65 miles per hour in a residential zone, and gave the neighborhood a midnight show no one asked for. A police maneuver spun him once, but he wasn't done, cutting across lawns, bouncing onto sidewalks, and turning the city's landscaping into collateral damage. The chase carried on, with officers closing in as Ray pushed his late-night joyride to the next level.
And come up the line.
Through Lottie, slowed down from the intersection of the stop sign. Northbound on Allen. One now, light now, really short. Still no traffic coming up to 23rd again. Speed limit 60. Right at 23rd. It's going to go straight.
2 days left.
Another TBI.
The pursuit finally came to an end when Ray's car collided with a fence behind a local credit union. Officers moved in and found a female passenger who said she hadn't exactly volunteered for this wild ride, and claimed Ray tossed a gun during the chase. No firearm was found, but officers did discover methamphetamine in his pocket. Ray was booked into the Oklahoma County Jail on charges including felony, eluding, endangering others. Possession of a controlled substance, driving with a revoked license. Records also show this wasn't his first run-in with the law. Back in 2016, he was convicted of sneaking contraband into jail. What began as a simple missing blinker escalated into a late-night joyride of chaos, blasting through streets, sidewalks, and yards, before ending the way these rides usually do, in the back of a police car. On August 17, 2025, around 8:10 p.m., Grand Blanc Township officers tried stopping a speeding motorcyclist. Instead of pulling over, he hit 100+ miles per hour through multiple jurisdictions, like he was auditioning for Fast and Furious, Harley Edition. Car chases are bad enough, but doing it on 2 wheels, that's not courage. That's straight-up Darwin Awards material.
Thank you.
Alright, through Headfield, blew the light there. And we're stopping here. Westbound.
You better stop! Right now! Get on the ground right now! Get on the ground! Right now!
The joyride ended with a crash near a Flint parking lot. He jumped off, ditched a handgun and some meth, and tried running, but officers caught him almost instantly. He was charged with possession of controlled substances, fleeing a police officer carrying a concealed weapon. A routine stop turned into a 100 miles per hour motorcycle meltdown. And like most of these joyrides, it finished the usual way: crashed, cuffed, and caught. On September 3rd, 2025, around 2 p.m., deputies chased a black Mustang with Kentucky tags flying down Highway 25 East. When spike strips came out, the driver swerved at a deputy and floored it, turning the Mustang into a 3,000-pound bad decision.
I pinned him, I got him stopped. Get out of the car! Get out of the car! Hey, stop it right there! Stop it right there! You stop! You turn it off! I got him. You keep your hands right there where I see him. All right. Yes, you stay right there till we get out. Get out of it. Get out of it. Right now.
A PIT maneuver shut the joyride down, and the driver was yanked out and hauled off to jail. He was charged with assault on a law enforcement officer, evading arrest, reckless driving, no registration, and no insurance, plus more pending in Smith County. The Mustang never saw the finish line, just a tow truck and a courtroom. On September 6, 2025, around 8:18 p.m., Trooper Wright tried stopping a car driving without headlights at night. The driver, Jimmy Lee Kegler Jr., pretended to pull into a gas station, then floored it out of there. Not exactly Oscar-worthy acting.
With John Young, 29 Robert, AJY, 29R.
818.
1037.
Yeah, direct G23.
What's this 20?
Increment extended.
TBI.
TBI, 818.
We're continuing. We're Ingram southbound.
Ingram southbound. With the shooting. It's going to be in pursuit at Ingram southbound.
We took a left right in the project.
It's going to take a left in the project.
TBI again. Staying on the gas right now.
Hanging around. I'm on him, okay, headed to him.
Left on Ingram, moving forward.
Heading back to Ingram.
Heading back to Ingram, 820.
Kegler blew through stop signs, swerved into oncoming lanes, and pushed his car over 70 miles per hour. Multiple TVIs spun him around and even had him smoking his tires in place, but each time he wriggled free and bolted again. The chase turned into a stubborn game of bumper cars through the city.
Right.
23 turn to the right.
You put it in fucking park! Look at me! Put it in park!
Got another TBI. We're going back to Ingram.
TBI heading back to Ingram, 821.
They're still in pursuit, headed back towards Ingram.
We're over here in these apartments now.
At the apartments now.
Get out of the fucking car! Now!
It finally ended inside an apartment complex when Trooper Wright pinned the vehicle. Even then, Kegler locked the doors and refused to get out until officers broke glass and dragged him from the car. He was intoxicated, and his ignition interlock, meant to stop him from drinking and driving, wasn't working at all. He was charged with felony fleeing by vehicle DWI, third offense, resisting arrest, reckless driving and speeding, criminal mischief for property damage. From no headlights to a demolition derby escape attempt, Kegler tried everything to keep moving, but ended up going nowhere except county jail. On August 29, 2023, around 8:50 p.m., traffic on I-40 West near mile marker 178 came to a halt after law enforcement stopped a wrong-way driver. Several vehicles, including semi-trucks and a Jeep, were lined up on the interstate as officers worked the scene.
I got that vehicle stopped.
3578, driver. 3578.
Tell them 1041, start 1016.
1041, 1011, started 1016, 18 wheelers just hit 2 cars.
As traffic sat still, a Kenworth truck approached from behind at highway speed. Despite braking, the truck could not stop in time. It struck one tractor trailer, then another, sideswiping vehicles in the lineup as logs from its load began to shift. In seconds, what began as a controlled traffic stop turned into a chain reaction of crushing impacts. The driver of the Kenworth was identified as 63-year-old Thomas Arthur Job of Malvern, Arkansas. The impact caused his load of logs to break free, crushing the cab of his truck. Mr. Job did not survive. About Thomas Job. Mr. Job was a semi-retired truck driver, a man of faith, and a devoted father, grandfather, and great-grandfather. He loved the outdoors, Razorback football, old movies, and cooking. But most of all, he loved time with family. Friends and loved ones remember him as someone who never met a stranger and was always willing to share his faith. The crash on I-40 is a sobering reminder of the dangers truck drivers face each day. For the Job family, it was more than just a highway accident. It was the loss of a beloved father and grandfather whose life touched many. September 5, 2025, around 8:10 p.m., deputies spotted a silver Honda Accord flying down Sparksford Drive at 50 miles per hour in a 30. When the officer pulled in behind, the driver, later identified as Nathan Jose Alleman, made it clear he wasn't interested in a traffic stop. Instead, he turned a quiet street into the launch pad for a full-on joyride. Alleman blew through stop signs, swerved into oncoming traffic, and pushed his Accord over 70 miles per hour as he reached the city limits. Moments later, he darted onto Interstate 40, hammering it past 130 miles per hour, weaving on the shoulder, and turning rush hour into a live-action video game. At one point, he even hit a curb so hard the car went airborne before crashing back down and somehow keeping control. Deputies closed in as the chase raged across highways and side roads.
Marshall, we patched. We're patched, okay.
Got a lot of smoke coming from this vehicle. I'm not sure if the truck can go.
Driving into the
Get on the fucking ground! Get on the fucking ground! Turn around! Get on the fucking ground! Now! Face down!
The pursuit came to an end when deputies positioned their vehicle against the Honda, forcing it into a ditch. Alleman was pulled from the car and taken into custody without further incident. He was transported for medical evaluation before being booked into the Pope County Detention Center. Alleman is now facing several serious charges, including fleeing by vehicle, excessive speed, reckless driving, speeding 100+ miles per hour, driving without a license, failure to stop at multiple stop signs. From stop signs to 130 miles per hour mayhem, Alleman turned his Honda Accord into a wannabe rocket ship. But like most joyrides, this one didn't end with victory. It ended in a ditch, flashing lights, and handcuffs. On September 3, 2025, Port Orange police tried stopping 24-year-old Christian Otteno. Instead of pulling over, he turned I-95 into a speedway, weaving through traffic, blowing red lights, and hitting 118 miles per hour like the prize was a free jail upgrade.
Stop stick, stop stick, stop stick, stop stick hit, stop stick hit, stop stick hit going to the Farms Road, 110. Southbound on 95. He's losing speed. 95 miles an hour.
You think you can get him with a pay for the straightaway here? We're going too bad.
He's going to lose it here in a minute. He's losing speed.
Alright, sit back, we got the cavalry behind you. Dennis, I would have hit him. You want to get him or you want me to get him?
Go ahead.
12-55 to Port Orange Sergeant, can I assist on 95?
We got plenty of people, clear the air. Pit, pit, pit. Williamson overpass, pit in the median.
Anybody else in there? No. All right, no sir. On the ground, on the ground, on the ground.
His joyride finally ended when Sheriff Mike Chitwood stepped in and pulled the plug with a textbook PIT maneuver. Charges fleeing from law enforcement, reckless driving, Florida's super speeder violation, plus a stack of traffic tickets big enough to wallpaper his cell. From catch me if you can to caught by the sheriff himself, Christian learned the hard way that Florida highways aren't a video game, but they will level you up straight into jail. On August 29, 2025, around 8:50 p.m., Corporal Kyle Jones was working a sobriety checkpoint on Highway 41 and Highway 234 when a white Chevrolet Tahoe rolled up. The driver, Kenneth Terrell, wasn't wearing a seatbelt and claimed he had no ID. Instead of pulling over like instructed, Terrell decided to give officers the ultimate headache. a full-on checkpoint jailbreak.
5 seconds there.
Before we get going, we good. 10-4, he slammed his brakes on.
Terrell floored it southbound on Highway 41, passing cars in no passing zones and nearly causing head-on collisions. Every time Corporal Jones lined up for a tactical vehicle intervention, Terrell swerved or slowed to block him. To make matters worse, the chase was heading toward the town of Foreman, which was hosting a high school football game that night, meaning dozens of families and kids were in harm's way. With no time to waste, troopers closed in to end the pursuit.
94, let me get up beside you on the straight stretch and I can kind of box you in.
10-4, you might be able to pull ahead of me. Pull up on him a little quicker than me. When we get up here, if I can't get up beside him, just pass me and get up there.
A final TVI maneuver forced Terrell off the road, sending his Tahoe into a ditch where it came to rest upright in a pasture. Officers moved in tactically and found Terrell lying on the ground, partially hiding under his own SUV like he thought nobody would notice. He was pulled out and taken into custody without further incident. Terrell was booked on multiple charges, including felony fleeing by vehicle reckless, driving with a suspended license, no insurance/fictitious plates, failure to obey a police officer. In addition, Terrell was served with multiple outstanding warrants, including failure to register as a sex offender, violating a protection order, attempting to defraud a drug screening test, and a parole revocation. From a missing seatbelt to a high-speed run past a football game crowd, Terrell turned a simple checkpoint stop into a county-wide manhunt and hiding under his own SUV. Let's just say that wasn't the getaway plan of a mastermind. It was the end of the road. On Sunday, July 9, 2023, La Crosse, Wisconsin, at approximately 4:50 p.m., La Crosse police attempted to pull over a stolen vehicle near 2nd Street and Grove Street. The vehicle had been reported stolen just the day before, but instead of stopping, the driver, later identified as 25-year-old Deshaun Huff of Winona, slammed on the accelerator and fled southbound on 2nd Street at speeds topping 60 miles per hour. The pursuit escalated quickly as Huff blew through intersections and headed toward Norplex Drive. As officers gave chase, the stolen vehicle suddenly lost control at Norplex and Hood Street. And then, it launched straight off the southwest curb and into Swift Creek. Officers rushed in immediately, wading through the water and tossing rescue ropes. But Huff, clearly panicked, couldn't grab hold. As the car sank, so did Huff. Within minutes, the La Crosse Fire Department Dive Rescue Team and the La Crosse County Dive Rescue Team arrived and pulled Huff from the water. He was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. Charges: pending full recovery and investigation. Huff may face fleeing an officer, operating a stolen vehicle, reckless endangerment, failure to stop, and other related traffic and criminal charges. What started as a routine stop quickly turned into a dramatic water rescue. As Huff remains hospitalized, the Wisconsin State Patrol has taken over crash reconstruction, ensuring an independent review, standard procedure when a pursuit results in serious injury. May 6, 2016, Greenfield, Wisconsin. It was just after 3 a.m. when a Greenfield police officer attempted to stop a stolen vehicle. The car, occupied by 4 teenagers, refused to pull over and took off at high speed, pushing 100 miles per hour through city streets. According to Chief Brad Wentland, these weren't just kids out joyriding. These were suspects involved in dangerous, possibly violent felonies. As they ran red lights and swerved around innocent drivers, it became clear something had to be done before someone got seriously hurt. Just past Lincoln Avenue, the officer performed a high-speed pit maneuver at nearly 97 miles per hour, sending the stolen car into a concrete pole, which snapped from the impact. The vehicle was totaled, and all 4 teens fled on foot. Remarkably, none were seriously hurt. All 4 suspects took off on foot but were later located. Miraculously, no one was seriously injured in the crash. The officer's bold decision to use the pit at that speed raised some eyebrows, but Greenfield's police chief stood firm. "It was a judgment call made to save lives," said Chief Wentland, acknowledging that while 97 miles per hour is higher than usual PIT guidelines, the situation called for action. They were wielding a 3,000-pound weapon with no regard for human life. Charges. The 4 teens are now facing juvenile charges for fleeing and eluding possession of a stolen vehicle, reckless endangerment. Further charges may follow pending investigation. The officer's maneuver may have been controversial, but it stopped a high-speed threat before tragedy struck. As debates around police use of force tactics continue, one thing remains certain. Split-second decisions can mean the difference between safety and catastrophe. And in this case, the officer chose to act before someone else paid the price. On September 4, 2025, just after noon, a trooper tried stopping a black Lincoln MKZ flying down I-55. Instead of easing off, Ted Jean Paul thought, why not push 100 into 35 and see what happens? Spoiler, nothing good. Ted tore through Broadway at over 100 miles per hour, blew an intersection, skidded sideways into oncoming lanes, then somehow regained control. He darted into an abandoned lot, shot back onto Walker Street, and finally plowed through a wooden fence. At that point, His luxury sedan getaway was looking more like a demolition derby audition.
Going into traffic. She's trying to cut through the parking lot on me. Marcy, it's a Lincoln. She's trying to get off that blocker. She may be trying to get to the apartments. All right, they're wrecked out. Here on the...
When backup closed in, Ted didn't just give up. He started dumping cocaine onto the car floor like it was confetti at a parade. Officers arrested him, and one West Memphis cop even inhaled some of the powder while clearing the car. EMS cleared the officer, but Ted's attempt at a cleanup was about as effective as hiding a body under a see-through tarp. Ted is now facing serious charges: felony fleeing reckless driving, possession of cocaine and paraphernalia, tampering with evidence, driving on suspended license, and no insurance. From 100 miles per hour joyride to cocaine snow globe, Ted Jean Paul checked every box on the don't do this list, and still ended up right where most of these stories end: county jail. On February 3, 2024, at about 2:46 a.m., troopers on GA 400 spotted a gray Nissan GTR and a Dodge Charger racing side by side. Because apparently nothing screams responsible adult decisions like street racing at 3 in the morning in Atlanta.
Passing Sidney Marcus, passing Sidney Marcus. I'm good, I'm just... You don't know how to apex. Getting to 85, stand by, gonna try to pit. Alright, got too close to the wall for me to commit to it. We're connectors, or excuse me, 85 south, 85 south. Coming up on Buford Highway, 895, you're going to be able to intercept us.
I'm getting on you right now. Getting on Moore's Mill right now, southbound now, southbound.
Alright, we're passing up Buford Highway, left lane, left lane.
Hopefully I'll get right down to you at the same time.
When officers tried pulling them over, the Charger slipped away, but the GTR stayed, and by stayed I mean it hit 168 miles per hour like it was auditioning for Fast and Furious 11, Peach State Drift. The chase ran down I-85 onto the connector, and then I-285, where speed spiked to 175 miles per hour under the runway tunnel. At one point, a trooper even lined up a PIT maneuver, but had to back off when a random commuter got in the way. Imagine explaining that insurance claim. Yeah, I got caught between a cop and a Nissan going 175.
It's not. They get further and further more.
All right, right shoulder, He almost losing it in the curves. Still right shoulder, coming up the flat shoals.
It says post 20, or it says D24CU.
Noonan.
Should be on that, right?
It's on the other remote right here.
You
Got
got
we just standing by at 5144.
We might, damn, don't tell me we got a flat. What's going on with the car? Atlanta, my car's giving up on me. It's dying. He's coming up to the Union City exit. Definitely gonna lose him as fast as he's going.
The joyride ended after the GTR hit a raised median, crippling the car. Union City police later found it tucked behind a gas station, with 3 guys trying to casually walk away like they hadn't just been driving a rolling felony. The driver, Patrick Lee, admitted to being behind the wheel, and he also admitted to drinking earlier at Moondog's Cafe. His car? It even had 2 VIN numbers, because why stop at one bad idea when you can have 2? Lay was arrested and booked on. Felony, fleeing at high speeds, racing on highways, reckless driving, DUI, alcohol, refusal to submit to testing, improper vehicle registration, 2 VINs. From 175 miles per hour on the interstate to hiding behind a gas station, Patrick Liu's plan unraveled faster than his tires. His GTR might have been fast, but county jail was waiting at the finish line. October 2023, South Florida. Florida Highway Patrol received a bolo from Collier County. Be on the lookout for a stolen Range Rover. A short time later, troopers found it, abandoned on I-75 near mile marker 30. The suspects, gone, but not far. Turns out, the group had ditched the SUV and jumped into a black Mercedes sedan headed eastbound. It didn't take long before troopers picked them up again, this time flying down the highway like it was the Indy 500.
What's your guys on traffic conditions? Copy, Compound 75, 1153 Central.
The Mercedes was clocked hitting at least 140 miles per hour, weaving through lanes with no sign of slowing. The vehicle ripped down the I-75 toward Broward County, dangerously close to other cars as it barreled ahead. Troopers followed from a distance, waiting for the right moment. No sirens, no mistakes, just patience.
Copy 2 miles west of Flamingo Road. Temple 135 CLS, which leads. Exiting Flamingo. 10-4-11-26 attempting to pit 381-1048.
As the Mercedes approached the I-595 split, the opportunity came. Off the Flamingo Road exit, just before 2:50 p.m., troopers executed a clean pit maneuver, spinning the sedan off the road and bringing it to a full stop. All 3 suspects were taken into custody without further incident. Dashcam footage captured the takedown from start to finish. 1 second they were running, the next they were in cuffs. Charges: fleeing and eluding, reckless driving, grand theft, auto possession of burglary tools. Additional felonies pending investigation, from Range Rover to Mercedes. These suspects thought they could outpace the law. But when you're running 140 on I-75 and FHP is behind you, it only ends one way. Fast cars, bad decisions, and a pit stop they won't forget. Thanks for riding the adrenaline wave with us here at Mind Rush. If you're hungry for more heart-pounding action and edge-of-your-seat excitement, don't go anywhere, because we're just getting started. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more mind-blowing moments coming your way soon.